Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to another episode of the X Factor Sports Podcast, Season 7, Episode 2. We are on YouTube and Rumble every Wednesday night, so be sure to like, share, subscribe, check us out. Make sure you let everybody know. If you like listening to it on the audio, you can catch it on all platforms that allow you to listen to audio. The X Factor Sports Podcast is here. Real talk, unbiased takes. All right. Tonight, we got a great show for you. We are going to get into Super Bowl 59. We're going to talk about the NBA All-Star game, All-Star weekend, all the things that are happening. And then we got some predictions on what will happen in the All-Star weekend. And then we're also going to talk about this GOAT debate. Has the ship sailed? Is the GOAT debate over? Can we still have it? I'm going to let y'all know what I think. All right. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Let's get into the quick news, these layup lines. And over the weekend before the Super Bowl happened, the NFL had an award show, the NFL Honors. So I want to give some congratulations out to Josh Allen winning the MVP. Basically won it over Lamar Jackson, right? I think Saquon had one or two votes. I don't know if he had any first place votes, but Josh Allen won the award. I believe he was deserving of the award. Remember, the MVP award is a narrative-based award, right? So think about what everybody thought the Bills was going to be this year. Nobody thought that they were going to make it or win 14 games. They beat the number one team in the AFC in the regular season in the Chiefs, who was undefeated. They beat the Lions, who were the number one team in the NFC all season. Josh Allen had a great game, even though they lost to the Rams in a shootout. He was basically Superman for them. They had one Pro Bowler on the team other than him. Whereas Lamar Jackson, everybody was expecting him to do what he did in the regular season, especially when you add a Derrick Henry. So, again, it's a narrative-based award. I know Lamar Jackson statistically had his best season, but when you're going up against the narrative of what people expected to happen with the Bills and what didn't happen, you got to give it to Josh Allen. So congrats on that. And then also for Saquon Barkley, congrats to Saquon for winning the Offensive Player of the Year. He deserved that. The MVP is a quarterback award. So, of course, they're not going to give it to him. That's why they made this Offensive Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year award, is so guys like this can get it. He deserves it. He had over 2,000 rushing yards. They didn't play him to break the record, but he got the most rushing yards in the season because he made it all the way to the Super Bowl. But congrats to Saquon. I don't think anybody had any problems with this. And I'm sure every time Giants fans or the organization hear Saquon's name, it's like turning a knife in their stomach because of what they had. But I'm happy for him because greatness got to go to a great team, and that's what we love to see. And they missed out on it, so congrats. Also, congrats to PS2, Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain II for Denver, shutdown corner, much deserved. Also, Jaden Daniels won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Bo Nix had an argument, but you can't deny what Jaden Daniels did for the Washington Commanders. I mean, winning the Hail Mary game, he won so many close games. I mean, he showed how clutch he was throughout the season. So I'm not mad at that either. So congrats to all the people that won the awards on the NFL Honors on Saturday night or Thursday night, actually. It was the day after the season premiere. That's why we didn't talk about it last week. Also, the Jets cut Aaron Rodgers. Let's get that very clear, okay? They didn't part ways with him. No, Aaron Glenn came in and set the tone for the New York Jets, and they cut him, okay? If we no longer want you on our team. So he got cut. Now, he's not good anymore, all right? I talked about it in season 6 that he was done. And everybody was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, no, I have two eyes and a brain. I know what I'm watching. Okay. Their record was worse with him than it was with Zach Wilson last year. They won 5 games. He's coming off an Achilles tear. He'll be 41, 42 years old next season. Aaron Glenn, a new coach. He don't want to have to hear week to week about what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, what show he's on every week. He wants to coach football. And to do that, you got to set the tone, and they cut this guy. Now, will he retire? Or will he do a full-fledged Brett Favre and go to the Minnesota Vikings? Because they're probably questioning if they want to pay that price for for Sam Darnold. And you get a cheaper, proven quarterback, I guess, in Aaron Rodgers. So go ahead and just complete the Brett Favre cycle, man. You got kicked out of the Jets organization. Just go ahead to Minnesota. I mean, at least you didn't take no picks out there in New York. So you didn't go full on Brett Favre, but go ahead and go to Minnesota and finish it out or retire. One of the two. You still was a great quarterback. You're just not anymore. Simple as that. Then we got Kellen Moore. Congrats, offensive coordinator for the Eagles, former offensive coordinator, I should say, just won the New Orleans Saints head coaching job. Congrats to him. It's going to be an uphill battle. I think it's a bad spot to put him in. They gave him the job so late. He's going to be scraping at the bottom of the barrel for coordinators. He's getting the last scraps because all these other coordinators have been hired at these other 6 job openings that were. So last minute, I mean, he's got 2 months basically to put a staff together and be ready for the draft. And he's never coached at any level, so he doesn't have any head coaching experience. We don't know if he is going to be a leader of men or not. I just think it's a bad spot, but you can't knock a guy for advancing his career. This is what coaches aspire to be. So congrats on doing that. And on the flip side, if it doesn't work out, he is a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator and he's young, so he can get another job. He can fall back. I'm sure he would be a well sought out coordinator. I'm not firing him before he gets hired. I'm just saying, I think the Saints job is a bad job, and to be a rookie, unexperienced head coach going into it, wish you the best of luck, my guy. All right, Super Bowl 59. That happened. So the Eagles dominated, but I'm going to get into that later. I'm going to get into the nuances of the game and how they won later on. I want to talk about this halftime show. So Kendrick Lamar put on a great performance. I personally believe it was a great show. A lot of messages were in there, very powerful messages. For a hip-hop artist to do a Super Bowl is huge. First of all, to headline it and to run it himself and put all the creative behind it, it was amazing. I'm glad he got a chance to do it. He showed out. It is the highest rated halftime show in history, over 132 million viewers. So he did his job and got the world to see what he was trying to do. Again, a lot of people didn't like it, but that's every Super Bowl halftime. There's halftimes that I didn't like, right? Not everybody's going to like it, but you can't be mad at the message just because you didn't get the message, and vice versa. People that got it can't be calling other people dumb or stupid because they didn't get the message, and people that didn't get it can't feel that way either the other way. So it wasn't for everybody, like all Super Bowl halftimes, but I loved it, and clearly a lot of other people did too. But with this online back and forth for people, piling on each other and fighting each other about what they thought about the Super Bowl, all this does is, and I'll say this and leave it at this, all this back and forth divisiveness about what your opinions were on the Super Bowl just validates the reason why there was a message in the Super Bowl in the first place. Right? So I'll leave it there. NCAA. So it's the last thing I'm going to talk about in quick news, and then we dive in. NCAA, court storming. All right, Duke lost last week, and Clemson stormed the court. It happens. Vanderbilt has been getting fined for it because of their because of their college team, football team, and because of what the basketball team is going through with this court storming stuff. So all these things are happening, and Vanderbilt was getting fined for it. So now they put in a policy, and I actually agree with this policy. This 1 minute policy where they put a clock in for 1 minute, give the opposing team a chance to shake hands, walk off the court. The players are safe, the coaching staff safe, everybody leaves, and then they let the fans storm the court. I believe that that should be a policy all across NCAA, right? Even in football, give them a minute to get off the field, shake hands. Obviously, football feels bigger, so it may take more time. But the idea of player and staff safety, I'm about it. And then let everybody storm the court and have a good time. Nobody gets trampled. I like it. I think they should do it across NCAA. The only thing I would change, though, or the only thing I would add is you can't storm the court unless it's a rivalry game or you beat somebody in the top 5, top 10 at least. I mean, damn, I don't want to see a number 20 team beat a number 12 team and y'all storm the court. Y'all both was ranked. Like, where's the act like you've been there, you know? So, again, if Duke loses to an unranked team and Duke's the number 2 team in the country, that's expected. I mean, you come to Duke, that's what's going to happen. You get beat, teams are going to storm the court on you. K-State beats KU, it's a rivalry game, right? Storm the court. You beat your rival, cool. We did it in high school. We beat our rival across the bridge, and we stormed their court. We were the visiting team, but because we right down the street from them, shout out to Lane Tech, because we beat them and we right across the bridge from their school, when we won the game on a visiting court, this probably has never happened anywhere, our students stormed their court because we won the game. But it's all in good fun. But for the safety reasons, I think putting it, giving the other team a minute to get off, I'm good with that. But let's stop it with this storming the court for everything. Rivalries and top 5 wins. That's all I think it should be. All right. So let's get into it. Now that we got the quick news out the way, we're going to talk about this Super Bowl. Super Bowl 59. I know a lot of people don't want to hear me talk about it, but we got to. And for me, this Super Bowl was won before the game was even played. Jay, why do you say that? The reason I think it was won, because you just kind of look at how everything transpired. So when the Eagles won the NFC Championship, you can look at their face. They were not satisfied. They were not celebrating that hard. I mean, they were happy they won and got to the Super Bowl, but they looked like they were all business. From the end of that game until they got to the stadium in Super Bowl 59, they looked like they were all business. Jalen Hurts, you can't tell if he winning or losing at all anyway. Stoic guy, that's his demeanor. Saquon Barkley, they asked him, you made it to the Super Bowl. He was like, I didn't come here to just make the Super Bowl. I came to win it. Like, you can tell that leadership permeated through the entire organization. Even Nick Sirianni, who's an emotional guy, was calm and just humble and just ready to go out and take care of business. All of the players, that was kind of their saying, their slogan, unfinished business. So that's what they was about. And you can just tell they looked like a team that was ready to come in and play a football game. On the other side, the Chiefs was more like they were coming for a coronation. Like, everybody was giving them pats on the back, and it was just history this, history that. And all of this, Andy Reid's going to be the greatest coach ever when they win or if they win. Patrick Mahomes is going to be the GOAT with the three-peat. It was just all of this, Travis Kelce, the GOAT tight end. It was a lot of just celebrating before the match, before the game even started. And you could see that on the Chiefs side. All of the talking heads was talking about three-peat history. I even picked the Chiefs to win, even though I said they would win if the game was close. But I also said that I felt like if the Eagles win this game, the only way they could win it is a blowout. Because I just didn't think situationally they were going to be able to beat the Chiefs. But if they beat them, they had to beat the hell out of them. And they did. But just watching that game, the Eagles looked like they came for a bar fight. And the Chiefs looked like they came for a beauty pageant. I mean, all the way into, Travis Kelce with his 1970s dance fever outfit, to Mahomes with the slight troll, his nice suit, but it was Philadelphia Eagles colors. Like all these little things, like they were trying to set up for when they won the Super Bowl. And the Eagles was all business. Like they wasn't having none of it. And you can see that in the game. And this is why I'm coming at it from this view. I'm sure y'all heard all the stats and why they won and blah, 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 right? But if you watch that game, the second drive that the Eagles had, they marched down the field, 7 plays. They only tush pushed one time. Everybody was complaining the tush push should be outlawed, this and that. They said, you know what? We only need to do it once. They did it one time, and it almost felt like they pushed from the 5-yard line. The way they moved the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line. They literally just pushed them down the field. On that 7-play drive, 5 of those plays were rushes. So what does that say? They basically told the Chiefs, we came to start a fight. We finna push y'all all the way down the field, out our way, on the offensive side and the defensive side. We coming to bully y'all. They scored a touchdown on a tush push. There ain't no jumping up and down and high-fiving. Everybody runs to the sideline. They shake hands. It might be a couple good jobs, attaboys, all that. But for the most part, everybody seemed pretty calm. Everybody kind of took on Jalen Hurts' persona in this game, even Nick Sirianni. They just look more focused. You go to the Chiefs sideline, they look tired. The Chiefs sideline looked tired. They push shots on Travis Kelce. He looked old and tired. I mean, he's got so many things going on outside of football. They look like a team that have been playing 3 years straight into February. Honestly, that's what they look like. Chris Jones looked hurt. Patrick Mahomes looked nervous. Travis Kelce looked tired and old. The coaching staff looked lost. And they couldn't run the ball at all. I mean, rushing 4 the whole game and getting 6 sacks. I mean, that's all you needed to know about the physicality of this game. And we talked about it last week in those keys to victory. Run game, the trenches. Most of these games are won in the trenches. The 2 Super Bowls that the Chiefs have lost with Patrick Mahomes was the other team beat them up in the trenches. And defense. We checked 3 boxes for the Eagles, even though I still picked the Chiefs to win because I assumed the game would be close. But like I said, if the Eagles win, they're going to have to blow them out. I wasn't thinking they would, but they did. And it was because of the trenches and that defense. So when you look at this game was won before it even started. I mean, just that first drive. I even leaned over to LeBron and was like, hey, this is looking very eerily similar to when they played against Tampa Bay, man. The way they getting pushed around, they look shell-shocked. The offensive line looked like they didn't know what they were doing. And the Eagles just exposed them. I mean, it is what it is, man. You get blown out in the Super Bowl, you obviously got exposed. Mahomes didn't have a good day. Like, there's just something to be said about a team that comes together and they're focused on the task at hand. And there's something to be said about that versus a team that's been honestly living on the edge all season. I mean, all these close games the Chiefs have played and they've been winning them. I don't know if they've been building confidence in their team or if they've been building arrogance, right? There's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. And the Chiefs came into this Super Bowl looking very arrogant. And the Eagles came into this Super Bowl looking real hungry. I don't even think it had anything to do with them losing the last one. I just think it had something to do with all of the pats on the back they saw, the Chiefs getting and history being made, and the Eagles was like, not on our watch. Y'all not making history on us. And that's what that first quarter looked like. That's what halftime looked like. Like, y'all are not making history on us. We are going to leave no doubt. And because of that, I think all those years with the Chiefs, I think it just took some out of them. I mean, so as a Bulls fan, I grew up in the 90s in the heart of the Bulls dynasty, the two three-peats. And all the Bulls players say the hardest game or the hardest championship that they won was the third one. The one against Phoenix in 93, the one against Utah, the second one against Utah in 98, when they lost game one and they were underdogs and they were the road team. They was the road team against Phoenix also. They were not the top seed. And they say those were the hardest ones to win because 3 years of playing to the end of the season, it just takes a toll on you mentally, physically, emotionally. So I feel like that's what the Chiefs ran into. They played into February for 3 straight years. And then even in this 5-year dynastic run, they've played the most football out of anybody. And I think you saw that on the field. I think the Chiefs just are being pulled in too many directions with things off the field and media and all these things. And when it came time to game time, they looked spent. And the Eagles took advantage of it. Again, they came for a bar fight. And the Chiefs came for a beauty pageant and they got beat up. So unfortunately, we saw the Chiefs play their worst game of the season at the end of the season. And that's how it happened. So y'all let me know what y'all think, how that game was won. Do you agree with what I'm saying about this game looking like it was over before it even started? Eagles coming for a brawl. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Again, we are on YouTube and Rumble every Wednesday night. And then you can also check us out on all the audio platforms. Okay. So we're going to switch gears. Okay. We're going to talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's coming up on Friday, on Valentine's Day. Usually always comes around this time after the Super Bowl. They kind of line that up perfectly. So you get some sports over the weekend. But we're going to get into some of the events for All-Star Weekend. And we're going to predict who's going to win some of these events. So be sure to comment. Let me know what you think, who you think is going to win these awards, who you think is going to win these games, these three-point contests, all that. We're going to dive into it. So on Friday, they have the Rising Stars Tournament. This is a different type of format. There's still rookies and sophomores, but there's 4 teams. So it's going to be a tournament style. The winner of this tournament is the 4th team that's going to play on All-Star Weekend. I think it's pretty cool because they added the G League as well. And it gives these guys a chance to play on All-Star Sunday. When everybody's watching the greatest players, they get a chance to play in this tournament. So we'll see how the format turns out. But the Rising Stars Tournament is first. And you get 3 teams are going to be rookies and sophomores kind of mixed up. And then the G League team is that 4th team. Because it's in Oakland or because in San Francisco where Golden State play, the games at Golden State Stadium, they have Run TMC and Jeremy Lin as the coaches for those young viewers. Run TMC is Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and Chris Mullin. They are some Golden State legends from back in the day. So they're going to be the honorary coaches. Now, if you go online, you can look and see who's got who. I'm picking Team Mitch Richmond simply because he has the Thompson twins. Ahmed Thompson and Asura Thompson. I like both of their games. They play bigger than they are. They're athletic. They can score from anywhere. They play like some dogs. I like them. So I'm going to pick them to win the Rising Stars Tournament and be that team that goes on to play on Sunday. I'm going with Team Richmond. Then on Saturday, you got the skills competition, the three-point contest, and the dunk contest. Starting with the skills contest, it used to be 3-on-3. Now they just put it back to 2-man skills competition. I'm taking CP3 and Wemby to win the challenge. Skilled big men do really good in this competition. So maybe Donovan Mitchell and Team Cavs can win, but if I got to pick one, I'm going to take CP3 and Wemby to win this. So y'all, again, look online to see who's in all of these. I'm not going to run all that down, but I'll tell you my picks are going to be CP3 and Victor Wembanyama, Team Spurs. I got them winning the skills challenge. For the three-point contest, the Chiefs kind of kicked this thing off with these three-peats. I don't think this is going to be the weekend for three-peats either. So Damian Lillard won back-to-back three-point contests in 23 and 24. I know he's at home because he's from Oakland. He's from the Bay Area. I just don't see him winning 3 straight three-point competitions. That's my logic. There's no rhyme or reason to why I think this is. I just don't see him winning 3 straight. So I'm going to go with Buddy Hield, who actually is a Golden State Warrior for winning this competition. It's in his gym. His fans will be there. I think he has a good shot of winning it. He's been in the three-point contest before, so he understands the stamina and the pace it takes to win it. So give me Buddy Hield to win the three-point contest. The dunk contest, though, again, we got a back-to-back champ from the G League, Mac McClung. I don't see Mac McClung three-peating. I don't see it happening. For whatever reason, I feel like somebody has to stop the 3 in a row. I think that it will happen, so no three-peat. My pick is 100% biased. I'm from Chicago. It's a Bulls thing. I'm going with Matas Bazilis from the Bulls, our number 1 draft pick this season. I want to see him win the dunk contest. Let's go ahead and make it happen. Shout out to Matas for inserting himself, representing the Bulls. Go ahead and make another Chicago Bull a dunk contest champion. I'm rooting for him. Then we got the All-Star game on Sunday, the main event. Again, I'm not sure about this format. It's a 4-team thing: Team Chuck, Team Shaq, Team Kenny, the guys from TNT. And the winner of the Rising Stars tournament on Friday is going to play in this game as the 4th team. So they play a game to 40. First team to 40 wins, and then obviously you play in the championship. Because they're doing it this way, I'm actually going to go with Team Shaq. I think Team Shaq can win for this reason. The tournaments and the leagues that I play in, I'm older. So when we play in these tournaments, we try to get the number 1 seed because it's the same tournament style. You get the first game if you're the 1 seed, and then you get a break in between, and then you get the championship. So me and the rest of my old heads, we like getting that 1 seed because we can go balls to the wall in game 1, and then we get a whole hour of the rest. And then we can go ahead and win the championship. So if the format is that way, and Team Shaq gets the first game, I get team winning because they got the older guys. They got LeBron, Steph, KD, Harden, Kyrie, and Dame. And then they got JT and Jaylen Brown. So I got that team winning. They basically got Team USA. These guys have already played together. Steph, KD, LeBron, Jason Tatum. Dame has played with these guys before as a veteran. James Harden has some game. He's played a couple of times with KD, Kyrie. So I don't understand how Chuck and Kenny allowed Shaq to get this team together in the first place. How you let him get Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is crazy to me. Now, I do think Team Chuck has a chance. They got the size. And that's the one thing that Team Shaq don't have. Ironically, he doesn't have a lot of size. And he did have AD, but he got hurt. And so they inserted Kyrie. But Chuck's got the size with Wemby, and he's got Jokic too. So they might actually have it. He's got Cat. He's got Şengün from Houston. So they got a chance. But I feel like if it's formatted the way I explained earlier, if you let the old heads, Team Shaq, get the first game and they get you to 40 and then they get a chance to rest, I got them winning the whole thing. So I'm going to go with Team Shaq if they get that format. I got them winning it all. The old heads. Got to rep the old heads in this one. All right? So y'all let me know what y'all think. Who's going to win this championship? Who's going to win All-Star Weekend, three-point contest, dunk contest? Who do y'all got? Again, I'm taking the Team Mitch Richmond with the Thompson twins to win the Rising Stars. I'm taking Wemby and CP3 to win the Skills Challenge. And then I'm going to go with no three-peats. I got Buddy Hield winning the three-point contest. And I got Matas Bazilis from the Bulls winning the dunk contest. Go ahead and represent Young Bull. And then I got the old heads, Team Shaq, winning the All-Star game. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the X Factor Sports Podcast. We are on all audio platforms. We're on social media as well. So follow us. This is where you'll get the reels. You'll get all the clips of the show if you missed it and things to come. Okay? So now let's bounce back. Okay, we're going to get into what y'all came here to see or what y'all came to listen to, this GOAT conversation. Is the QB GOAT debate over? We saw what happened in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is now 3-2 in Super Bowls. And to be honest, he don't play real good in these Super Bowls. All right, he has 7 interceptions in his 5 Super Bowl appearances, and 5 of the interceptions are in these 2 losses. Now, if we are going to give people props for doing well and it helped their legacy, we have to be sure that if they play bad, it hurts the legacy, right? And this hurts his legacy. So is the GOAT debate over? For me, it is. Let's be honest. All right, these Super Bowl losses, he looks terrible in them. So for me, the GOAT debate is over. Now, there's a difference between a debate and a conversation. The reason I'm saying the GOAT debate is over, because you can't come to me and argue to me why you think Patrick Mahomes is a GOAT. There is no more argument. All right, he's out of there. Now, a conversation, because he's young, he's still under the age of 30. You can't take away what he's done. It's unprecedented. 7 AFC championships, MVPs, all the accolades. So we can have a conversation, say, yeah, does he have a chance to get back in the GOAT debate? Sure. Or the GOAT, yeah. But to come to me with a debate, an argument, that ship is sailed, bro. You can't come to me with no GOAT debate no more after what we have seen. As simple as that. Now, if he would have won, now we got the three-peat. He's done something that Tom Brady has not done before. Now we have a legitimate argument. If you come in with a debate, you have to have some type of legitimate argument to go against somebody else's argument. But because they lost, he has no debate anymore. And to keep it really real, all the way real, the debate is Mahomes and Joe Montana. There ain't no debate up here with Brady. He gone. The debate is Patrick Mahomes and Joe Montana, which is what the debate has always been in my eyes, unless he would have won this 3rd in a row. But even before this season, the debate was never Mahomes and Brady. It has always been Mahomes and Joe Montana. Montana is 4-0 in Super Bowls with no turnovers. Every time he got there, he won, and he was perfect. So miss me with this Brady debate. I know it's good topic for TV, but here we do real talk, unbiased takes. And that's where the debate should start. Let's win the debate on Joe Montana. You know, obviously individual accolades will get him over that hump. So that's why it's a debate, right? Joe Montana has the Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVPs, and the unblemished record, and you know the quarterback, no picks. So that's what the Joe Montana side's got. And then obviously they had a little mini dynasty, or you know, if you want to debate in the 80s. Mahomes has his dynasty. He's currently in it. And he's got MVPs and 5,000-yard seasons and AFC championships consecutively, all those things too. He's been to 5 Super Bowls. You can't take it away. That's why that would be a debate. You can argue those points. There ain't no argument up here with Brady. So that debate is over for the GOAT. So let's dial it back. I know this is a microwave society, but we need to cook this one real quick. Can he get back to it? Sure. But we can't ignore what we have just seen. This beatdown hurts his legacy. I like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback in football right now. But I can't argue the fact that he has played bad in the last 2 Super Bowls that he lost. Right? I mean, even if you count all of them, he's got 10 touchdowns and 7 picks in 5 Super Bowls. Like, so the debate ain't up here with Brady. So let's chill on that. And so if we dive deeper into this most recent Super Bowl, this is his LeBron losing to the Mavs in 2011. Let's call it, I mean, it's the ugly truth, but let's call it what it is. This is his LeBron James meltdown in 2011. All those fourth quarters that LeBron had against the Mavs in that series and melted down, it tarnishes his legacy a bit. When you go over the whole story of LeBron James's career, there's a blemish in it, and it's that. You can't deny it. Yes, he has all of the greatness, but you have to put that in the story too. That's what this is for Patrick Mahomes. He's been blown out in 2 Super Bowls. He threw a pick 6, came back out, and threw another interception in the back of his own end zone. Like he gave away 17 points in this game. They were down 24-0 at half. He had a QBR of 1. They had less yards than the Eagles had points. They had 23 positive yards in the first half, and the Eagles had 24 points. That has to fall on him. I know he's a likable guy and he's a great player, but listen, with the good has to come the bad if you have bad. It is what it is. Now, LeBron is in other people's GOAT debate. He ain't in mine, but people make debates for it, right? Now he's got the longevity thing cracking. He's got, he has the most points. That record will probably be knocked out of the park. The guy that probably breaks that record ain't even born yet. So there's a debate again for some people. But at this very moment, there is no debate for Patrick Mahomes to be the GOAT. This is a blemish on his resume, on his legacy. It has to be, right? We can't ignore it. So where do we go from here? He still has time to turn things around because he's young. He's not even 30 yet. But we cannot argue that this took a hit on his legacy, right? And so that's reason number one why I think it takes a hit and why the GOAT debate is over, I guess I should say. That LeBron James kind of analogy I just used for Patrick Mahomes. That's the number one reason why I think that the GOAT debate is over. The second reason why I think it's over is because I believe the iteration of this dynasty is over. This was a dynasty. You cannot deny that. But I think it's over personally. Travis Kelce is getting older. Chris Jones is getting older and more injured. So their leaders are fading away. They're all older than Patrick Mahomes. The offensive line needs to be retooled. I think they lose offensive linemen in free agency. The Bears is trying to get one of the offensive line. They've come out publicly and said, we are going to be aggressive to try to get Trey Smith. So other people obviously will try to get him too. So I think they lose some offensive linemen. Justin Reed, the safety on the back end, the veteran leader. I don't think he comes back to the Chiefs. So you lose veteran leadership, you lose an offensive lineman, and the guys that are sticking around, your pillars, what have you, are getting older. So I think the iteration of this dynasty is over. I don't see them getting back to the Super Bowl very quickly. And if Mahomes is going to get back to more Super Bowls, it'll be with some different guys. And like I said, I don't think they get back right away. The third reason is, how long is Andy Reid coaching? I know he just signed a contract last April that goes to 2029, but retirement's retirement. I don't know if Andy Reid is going to coach 5 more years with Patrick Mahomes. So are we going to see Patrick Mahomes get back to a Super Bowl with a different coach, or will he be able to do it throughout the duration of this contract? Now, in fairness, when the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl to Tampa Bay, they turned it around really quickly. They addressed issues they had. They retooled the offensive line, and They made it to another AFC Championship game, and then they were back in the Super Bowl and started this dynastic run, right? So it's possible. But at that time, that was 4 years ago. Travis Kelce was 4 years younger. Chris Jones was 4 years younger. The defense was less expensive. So I just think there's going to be a lot that needs to happen, a lot of turnover. Do they keep DeAndre Hopkins? Does, these young wide receivers, what do you do with Hollywood Brown? What do you do with Kareem Hunt? Like, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered after losing the Super Bowl. So that's why I feel like it's this iteration of this dynasty is over. So that's why I think the debate, this GOAT debate, is gone. Not saying that he can't bring it back or that, Brady had a 10-year window where he wasn't winning Super Bowls. He went to 2, lost them both. They had to spin the block. He got older. The second half of his career, they retooled, brought new players in, and he won more Super Bowls. So it's possible. But at this juncture, there is no GOAT debate anymore, okay? Debate Joe Montana and Mahomes, who's better. That's a more fitting debate based on the history and their accolades. But this GOAT debate has to be put to bed for those reasons that I just laid out. Something to think about. But I know this GOAT debate is over for now. No one has an argument for Mahomes as a GOAT. So it has to end. Now, I know people are afraid to say it because, they're afraid of being wrong. These talking heads, they always try to dance around their answer instead of giving you a direct answer. I'm giving y'all a direct answer. The debate is over. Okay? Patrick Mahomes melted down. We have to accept it. That doesn't mean he's not great, but this hurts his legacy. And now they have to find a way to redeem or come back, rebuild the team, retool it, come back a little more hungry this year. Maybe this Super Bowl humbled them and they can go back to the drawing board and get it right, and maybe the dynasty continues. So the dynasty isn't over. You can lose a championship within the dynasty. If they come back and win next year, it's still 4 and 7 years. That's dynastic. But I personally don't think it'll happen for those reasons I just listed off. So again, y'all let me know what y'all think. Is the GOAT debate over? And do you think that this dynastic run of the Kansas City Chiefs is over? You can always comment on YouTube. You can like, share, and subscribe and follow. Tell a friend. Let everybody know what we got going on Wednesday nights on YouTube and Rumble. Okay? Before we get up out of here, let's go ahead and end this show right with the 2-minute warning. Now, it's basically based on the things that I was talking about in the beginning of the show and the value of humility. So we saw Nick Sirianni after they won the Super Bowl, he talked about being grateful, being thankful. The group of guys that showed how much they loved each other, right? That is somebody who probably exhibited a little bit of arrogance, being a young coach and winning a bunch of games. Like, he had to take a step back. He even took away play calling duties from himself over the last 2 years and gave it to somebody else. That shows humility. Decided to be a CEO of the team as opposed to just being in charge and being always right. He took a step back. Howie Roseman, the GM, got demoted and then got his job back. Like, there is a lot of humility littered throughout that organization, and a lot of coming together brought together why they won the Super Bowl. This is why I was saying I think the Super Bowl was won before the game was played. So humility is just like, it's a value that can help people appreciate themselves more. It connects you with other people on a real level because we're not all perfect. People make mistakes, but that humility kind of brings you down to where people can touch and feel that genuine, humility. It helps people grow. Again, an example of that, he talked about how thankful he was. And I believe he became a better football coach throughout the season compared to last year's meltdown to now, I think it's pretty obvious he became a better coach and probably a better person too. So humility has that effect, and it helps people recognize their strengths and weaknesses as well. So learning how to be humble, understanding what humility is about, and having genuine humility, I think makes us better people. Thank y'all for tuning in to the X Factor Sports Podcast, Season 7, Episode 2. Again, if you like the brand new merch, we got high quality merchandise. Shout out to Snooch Customs for getting us right. We got hoodies coming next week. We got the sweatshirts already on deck. Be sure to click the QR code or hit us up directly. Let us know your size. We do all sizes, all colors of sweatshirts and hoodies. Like, share, and support the X Factor Sports Podcast. Hit me up. I got to take care of you with the new X Factor Sports gear. Again, this is Jay Mondane of the X Factor Sports Podcast, Season 7, Episode 2, Real Talk, Unbiased Takes. Thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms, listen on all audio platforms, or tune in every Wednesday on YouTube and Rumble. This is Jay Mondane, your host, signing out. Peace.